Hello everyone. Thankfully this week I am coming to you with without COVID and just feeling a lot better and hopefully sounding a lot better. So that's such a relief to say. This week I'm using a kit by My Newest Addiction. I have not used a kit from that shop in the longest time. I think I used one in my planner from something like 2 years ago. It was an absolutely beautiful kit. It was a sort of purpley, it's a deep purple kit, and it was stunning. But I don't know, you get used to the same shops, I guess, and fall into a habit of sticking to those that you know will work for you, which is good because then you're not wasting money. But then I'm also missing out on trying out new formats and things, and I actually loved using this, so I think I will purchase some more kits from there when I am shopping again. But for now, this was an absolute pleasure. I saw it posted a few months ago on, I think they were doing like an anniversary event, and I couldn't afford it at the time. So I messaged just to say, oh my goodness, please tell me this is still going to be in the shop by the time I have my next payday. And they said, yeah, it's staying. So that was such a relief. I picked it up the minute I got paid. This must have been back in April, May time, I think. And it's met every expectation. I love the pastel pinks throughout. I love the way that they've done the theme. I think it's very tasteful, very delicate. It's obviously a wedding themed kit, but I've used it here for the week of my grandparents' 60th wedding anniversary. I like using special occasion kits because I just think they really sort of highlight, given how much planning has become very decorative. Big events don't necessarily stand out on the page anymore, so I like to use a full event kit if there's something going on. I think it's nice to do. So that's what I used it for. I also was able to pull in some boxes that I bought from My Newest Addiction, and it was just nice to kind of be able to pull in other things from the shop. But I will definitely be purchasing more kits from there. I kept the base incredibly simple. I kept the sidebar incredibly simple. I did not want to overcrowd it. I thought the kit was very delicate and very soft, and I didn't want to have anything that then came across heavy. The artwork is gorgeous. The Happily Ever After box that I've put on Friday is one of the most beautiful boxes I've ever seen. It's like a castle, and it's just gorgeous. Completely obsessed with the kit. The only things that I've used in the sidebar are some dividers from Sadie's Stickers. They're the ones with the hearts on. And then I've used the monthly script from Sadie's Stickers as well that says July in the top corner. The date dots came with the order of the kit, so I just went ahead and used those. So I am feeling a lot better this week. I was off sick the entire week with COVID. I don't know that I went into actual symptoms too much in my last video. I just mentioned that I had it and that I was feeling really rough. But I was pretty much bedridden. So we'd managed to avoid it for the full 2.5 years that COVID has been around, which is quite impressive. I mean, I've worked from home most of the pandemic, and then, thankfully that's become a new way of life. I so much prefer working from home. I think finishing your day and not having to then waste 45 minutes sat in traffic is life-changing for me personally. And if you can, then it doesn't make sense that you wouldn't. I think anyone nowadays who is being forced into an office full time, if it's a job that you do online, in my eyes, that's just barbaric. Sorry, I went way off there, but my husband has had to work in his office throughout the pandemic. He works for law enforcement, so he is not able to work from home because they have to be physically there testing laptops and doing whatever else they do. So it is quite amazing that we didn't catch it through the pandemic. So we've made it this far, and then now we both got hit with it. He caught it a couple of days before me. I moved downstairs just to kind of try and minimize the risk of me getting it. I locked him in the bedroom with the ensuite, but it made it my way. So I guess in the couple of days before he tested positive, he must have been contagious and we wouldn't have realised it. He had really bad symptoms for about 3 days, could barely move, could barely leave the bed, could barely eat, and I was just kind of acting as maid for that time period, ferrying things up and down the stairs and just leaving them outside the door. But oh my goodness, I mean, we both laughed about, oh, if I get it, I'm going to handle it so much worse, because I don't do well when I'm unwell. I really don't do well. And when I get nauseous, I get anxious about being sick, and then it just becomes a whole mess. And then I get upset. And it's a really quick and steep downward spiral. So unfortunately, one of my side effects was nausea, and it was horrendous. I could not sleep. I could not eat. Because I wasn't eating, I couldn't force any illness. It was horrific. The amount of crying and groaning and everything. I was so miserable. And then I thought on the Wednesday afternoon I was having a little bit of an improvement, enough that I could possibly work from home on Thursday. I made it through 2 hours, and at that point my head had just had enough. I went to lie down, and then I spent the entire afternoon and evening again just feeling sick, and massively took a steep downturn. And also this week in the UK was stiflingly hot. It was vile. We've had a heat wave, and it's reached like 36 on some days, 36 degrees Celsius, and it is disgusting. So that when you're not well is horrendous. So yeah, the whole week, it was only on Friday afternoon, and we're talking late afternoon, that I started to feel well, but I was still testing positive. And then somehow, by some miracle, I mean, we were praying a lot, because it was my grandparents' 60th anniversary this week. That's why I'm using this kit. But the actual family event was on the Saturday. We were just supposed to be going and having cake and just having family time, really, with kind of my mum and her 2 brothers and their kids and stuff. And somehow I tested negative in the morning. And we were just so thankful for that, to be able to go and spend time with everyone, because I'd been texting everyone saying, oh, I'm still negative, I'm not going to be able to come. And I shoved that testing stick so far up my nose, because I thought if I make anyone sick, I'm going to feel awful. So it was a very, very strong test, shall we say. I rammed it all the way up there. It was very unpleasant. But that was really positive. But it completely wiped us out. So, of course, then we slept, both of us and the dog actually slept all afternoon and evening, all the way through. And then slept most of Sunday morning, and just had a chill day. I had a friend over for some drinks in the garden, but apart from that, we just rested the entire time, because it was so exhausting. So the only after effects I'm feeling now are tiredness, but that's nothing new for me. If you've been watching my Plan With Me's for a while, you know that tiredness is something that I just live with. But it has made that worse. So around 2:00 every day, I hit this point where I could sleep for hours, if it was possible, but the world continues to spin, so that is not a reality that I can live with. So I just have to push through, no matter how horrendous it is, and just make it through. And if I do take a longer lunch break and go and have a lie down, then obviously I just carry on working into the evening to make up the time. So yeah, it was a very boring week until I finally tested negative. Awful symptoms. So every day was just lying off sick, and then obviously we still had to walk the dog, because she cannot be trapped in the house indefinitely, and that was actually really difficult to get up and get out and walk when you're feeling like that. Is the worst. But bless her, she was good. She made it through. She was a great point of support. Yeah, it was intense. I am so glad that it's over. But I absolutely loved using this kit. I think the whole spread has just come out so simple and delicate, and all of the foil touches are just so lovely and pretty. I hope you like how it came out as well. And yeah, I hope that it sort of encourages you to try some shops that you haven't used their kits in a while, to give it a go to see if it works for you. I'll see you in the next one.